Welcome back to Cinemaflex Music Picks. I'm Davey, your host for the most, the beast with the least. Well, what we can do today is have a look at the brand new Doctor Who Season 9 box set, released today, March the 20th, 2023. Normally, for these videos, I bring out the old scarf, do a Doctor Who thing, do a Tom Baker, that kind of thing. Or get a sonic screwdriver out, but it doesn't feel very Pertwee, and I'll be honest, I don't have a cravat lying around. So the closest I could come was from this Santa Claus outfit that I had last year. So here's my tribute to John Pertwee. He's thinning a little bit on top, but bless him. So Season 9, broadcast in 1972, John Pertwee's third outing as the Doctor, and some lovely Lee binding artwork as always. Isn't that lovely? So what we got in there? We've got Alpha Centauri, we've got a Sea Devil, we've got an Ogron, Dalek, of course. Yeah, let's jump in. So let's have a look. So Doctor Who. Well, it says, but the menus, isn't it? Doctor Who, The Collection, Season 9. Build your own arc, blah, 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 blah. So this season has Day of the Daleks, Curse of Peladon, the Sea Devils, the Mutants, and the Time Monsters. So 5 serials, 26 episodes, all sorts of brand new stuff on it. So everything from the DVD, you know the drill by now, everything from the DVD era. I'm quite liking this look. Look like one of the Golden Girls, right enough. Everything from the DVD era, plus a plethora of new stuff, including Behind the Sofas for all 5. Location. Katy Manning goes back to the sites of Season 9. And boy, doesn't she have. She goes spelunking down the caves, and she's off on the high seas with the Sea Devils. She's all over the place. Time in Atlantis, a brand new making of documentary for the Time Monster. Michael E. Bryant at the helm, which is fascinating because he's not the most available guy always. The Fell guy, a look at the work of one of Doctor Who's most prolific stunt performers, and boy, wasn't he half. When you see that documentary, you'll see what they mean. Jeez Louise, every other stunt in this era and beyond was done by him. Dolby Atmos and Immersive 5.1 for the Sea Devils. Movie length editions, so omnibus versions as we used to call them back in its day on UK Gold, the omnibus for Day of the Daleks and Sea Devils. Convention, that's a new word. Convention footage, interviews with Nicholas Courtney, Richard Franklin, Terence Dix and Ingrid Pitt. A BBC audiobook for the entirety of The Curse of Peladon. I wonder if that's read by David Troughton. Let's just say it is. It's read by David Troughton. And archive treats including vintage TV sequence, the Blu-ray trailer, the wonderful one with Joe Jones as is finding the baby Sea Devil, with the 2 girls on the beach, and then the massive plethora of BBC archival documents that if you put into your Blu-ray drive you will find is. If you have a Blu-ray drive for a computer and you haven't put your sets in these to have a look at all the documents, wow, you're missing out. Talking books and books and books and books worth of material in there. Oh, look at that! I've got a little kind of bob as well. So let's have a closer look at the set itself. Then, so as always, in your card thingamajiggy, there's the clean artwork and 2 TARDISes, of course from the Time Monster, where they do the time ram. Let's do the time ram again. And then, as always, when you open up on these, just glorious. So we have the Doctor and Joe outside the TARDIS. Oh, that's a great picture, actually, when you get close. It's such good artwork. It's really good. And we'll go into this first of all. So Velcro opens up, and reveals that shot, but we'll get a better look at that in the front of the booklet usually. Do we? Yes, we do. Take this out, and then, as always, that folds out to give us the TARDIS interior specific to that season. So in this case, with the rather inappropriate, I wonder what that could be over there, Ray. Watch the time monster to find out. So we'll put that down for we'll finish the on disc part of it before I do. So UK sets, as always, come with individual artwork. So there's Katy and John on Day of the Daleks. There's Steve the Dalek on Day of the Daleks Special Edition Omnibus. There's Curse of Peladon, John. And there's Katy and a Sea Devil for the Sea Devils. Oh, the iconic shot of John with the sonic screwdriver on the beach from Sea Devils. The Mutant. Nothing iconic about that. However, speaking of iconic, Roger Delgado. And as always, at the back of the sets we get a TARDIS disc, and then underneath we should have the happy smiling face of, yes indeed, Mr. John Pertwee from the credits. So there we go. So there's a look at your artwork, your disc artwork. Now let's have a look at the booklet itself. More exciting products from Doctor Who, with the snazzy new logo, which nice because it ties back into John Pertwee's era, doesn't it? What's coming out? That Big Finish's recent box. Isn't that great picture of Pertwee there? It's so badass. Some of the stuff they're doing. The new Joe Jones box set was a little bit disappointing, but hey, can't win them all. Titan Comics. Here's the audio books, the actual BBC ones of the Target novelizations, and beyond, because it goes up to the new series. Demon Quest, the vinyl, those vinyl that are like 150 quid. You could just get it for 20 quid on CD. The Daily Doctor, Meditations on Life and How to... I don't think we need to... Stocking Filler. Take on a rogue Dalek and then an escape room adventure. Oh, I think I'd end up killing an actor by accident. I'd get too into it and take it too seriously. Sorry, Doctor, I've killed them. That was an actor. They were working a minimum wage. The Worlds of Wonder exhibition. Lots going on. Doctor Who magazine featuring Millie Gibson there. Erstwhile new companion. And then the 60th anniversary at Forbidden Planet of the Third Doctor, with some Roger Delgado merchandise and some predictable reverse the polarity print. And then the origin stories on the back. I've got the audio of this and it's pretty cool. But some of the stories are better than others. I mean, we know Missy's origins. We know Davros's origins. Big Finish did it. I mean, yeah, you can contradict, but hey. So anyway, there's your shot again from the cover, but isn't that cool seeing from the Daleks' point of view, really? Although quite why they'd both be looking in quite different directions, I'm not too sure. In fact, John and me look quite similar, don't you think? No, just me. Okay. Always the action man. The Dream Team, welcome to season 9. We quote from John to kick things off. I wanted the show to be more like a science fiction James Bond, and I think we started to achieve that. Well, so say all of us, because this is a very exciting era for action things, with the Havoc stunt team. And yeah, so this is just the extras for Day of the Daleks. Just the extras for one of the stories. Unreal. And then, as always, you get some photos, you get a little potted history of the story, how it's commissioned and whatnot, and you also get new artwork, which I always love that they include brand new artwork. Really cool. And look, that's even got Pat Troughton in there. Yeah. And William Hartnell. Yeah, from when he's reliving his memories in the Day of the Daleks. Oh, the wonderful Katy Manning as Jo. If you've never met her, go out your way. She's a delight at conventions. The Mob Squad there. And then, okay, John Levine as Benton. I won't go into my opinions on John Levine, but having met him, Alpha Centauri, probably the least likely comeback in the history of Doctor Who was Alpha Centauri in season 10. But hey, there it was, with the original voice as well. Some more new artwork there, which is lovely. Yeah, these booklets are just, Pertwee Ties does such a great job in these sets. Really is fantastic. A rather iconic shot of the Master, Roger Delgado. Always having a good time. Your Sea Devils. I like the Sea Devils. I don't think they've ever had a good episode since the original Sea Devils, including Jodie's episode last year, which was... but yeah, there's some cool new artwork. Very swashbuckling. Yeah, I love this stuff. It really does. Terrific. Speaking of cool new artwork from the Mutants, it's the best thing about the Mutants. All sorts in this. So I mean, when you add up these booklets alone, by the end of it, we're going to have a heck of a book about the history of the show. Nicholas Courtney and his co-star, his mustache, Roger Delgado, and he always had to have one episode a season where he had this almost satanic thing going on, didn't he? Same pose, just a different position there for him. Lovely. Great new artwork. And then, John with one of his trademark gurns with a hi, onto a pure sea devil. And then at the back, as always, we have some BBC publicity stills. So one of John and one of Steve the Dalek. So there you go. So let's look at the set. My opinion on the stories. Do you need it? No. Do you want it? No. You're getting it anyway. I'll be very brief. Day of the Daleks is a classic. It's time travel, even for Doctor Who standards, because in the classic series, I think they used the TARDIS too much just to get them into the story, and then didn't use the potential of the TARDIS in the story itself. Whereas here, time travel, people from the future coming back to get, it's almost a bit Terminator-like in places. Not quite as violent. Well, I don't know. John's karate moves were pretty violent. But yeah, there's some great time travel involved in that. Day of the Daleks, and the omnibus of that is terrific. The Curse of Peladon, wonderful. By far the best of the two Peladon stories. Big Finish had done some remarkable stuff with Peladon. They released a box set of it last year, and David Troughton returned to play King Peladon. David Troughton here was the young King Peladon, and that's a fantastic story. I mean, it's very political. With the whole will we or will we join? Definitely not Europe, whether it's called the Space Guild or blah blah blah. Like most of the Pertwee era, it has a great allegory underpinning it, so it comes from the headlines, a bit like the Tom Baker era would often come straight from Gothic horror. The Pertwee era would come from the headlines of the day. The Sea Devils, total classic, a bit too long for some people, yeah, probably, but Roger Delgado's on top form. The camaraderie between Pertwee and Delgado was never better, and some of the sets, some of the location work, in fact I won't say, but there's a vehicle at the end where you think, even a modern Doctor Who, that would be impressive to get one of them into the show. That's brilliant. The Mutants, one of the worst serials ever in the show, ever, absolutely ever. It's terrible. featuring Cotton, possibly the worst actor, played by Rick James, but not that one. Will all be done for? He's the most nonplussed guy who's about to be killed ever. Will all be done for? So things go downhill after the first three classics. So you've got your time travel brilliance and Day of the Daleks, the Extermination Squad and whatnot. The Curse of Peladon, good political intrigue on the planet Peladon, and will they political machinations, and it's a bit like the Gallifrey audio series for Big Finish. The Sea Devils, Earthbound, a kind of reverse Silurians, because they have the sea, whereas the Silurians have the earth. And again, wonderful stuff with Delgado. The Mutants, it's just bad space opera, it really is. The Humans, are the real monsters. It's one of those type stories. The Time Monster usually finishes when Doctor Who magazine does a poll very near the bottom. Yeah, I kind of like some of it. Ingrid Pitt's there. So, you're always going to have some value when she's camping it up. Ingrid Pitt's having a good time. She's the Queen of Atlantis. Galilea. The Master's fantastic in it. And you do have some TARDIS fun, some almost Proto-Moffat-like TARDIS fun where, if we land both TARDISes at the same point in time and space and, do a time ram, Yeah, cool stuff. Unfortunately, there's quite a few episodes where not much happens apart from and it's also about one of 348 explanations for what happened to Atlantis in Doctor Who lore over the decades. But hey, this isn't bad. So an up and down season. Starts with 3 bombers. That's a bad thing. Starts with 3 absolute bangers. That's a good thing. Then we get a total dud with the monsters, the mutants, sorry, and then the Time Monster. It doesn't save the day at the end, but it, if it steals the show, it's certainly petty theft. And all the new extras are fantastically fun. I could watch those behind the sofas for every episode, just with Janet Fielding watching old Doctor Who. She's genuinely got no idea what's going on at any point. It's fantastically fun to do. I think the most interesting one this time was location to see Katy Manning out and about in the original sets, and God, she's game. She's gone into nooks and crannies and holes and caves and on the water, that stuff I wouldn't do. She's getting on a bit. Bless her. I love Katy, love her so much. And the Michael Bryant documentary is fantastic. What a part he played in this era and outside his wider career. He's got a fascinating career. I'll leave that with you. It's not an emotional documentary like some of the past ones where some of them have been real emotional. Some of the Toby Haydock ones. And Michael, beg your pardon. Stuart Fell's stunt work analysis is just phenomenal, because this is the era of the stunts in Doctor Who. This is very much where you want that kind of feature. So to talk to him, again, bless them, these people are all getting on, so we want to talk to them now before the elephant in the room, before you can't. I mean, it says starring John Pertwee left us in 96, Katy Manning still with us, bless her. Nick Courtney left us about 2011. Roger Delgado sadly died before this era even finished, tragically, in Turkey. Richard Franklin still with us, and John Levine still John Levine. But anyway, that's about all I have for you today. So with that, I'll say stay very safe out there, good grief, reverse the polarity, and love and indeed mercy. I was going to throw that at the camera there, but I don't think you really want a massive, scalp of John Pertwee screaming towards you, so I'll just end it the usual way. See you next time.